All right, today's episode of Terrific Talk is brought to you by The Athletic. The Athletic is a subscription-based publisher of smarter sports coverage for die-hard fans. The model's simple. No ads, no pop-ups, and no autoplay videos. Instead, readers get in-depth coverage written by journalists who know their teams and leagues inside and out. Today, Terrific Talk listeners can get 40% off by using promo code TERRIFIC, making the subscription $2.99 a month. Again, subscribe today using promo code TERRIFIC to be a part of the future of sports journalism. Now, let's get to my conversation with Chris Rose.
Welcome to Terrific Talk. I'm Tom Anderson. Thanks for checking out the pod here on the CLNS Media Network. I've got a very special guest today. Chris Rose is the co-host of Intentional Talk with Kevin Millar on the MLB Network. He's also a studio host on the NFL Network. Just did some great work on the NFL Combine. He's somebody I grew up watching, always enjoying as a kid. I'm pumped to have him on today. Let me bring him in here. Chris Rose, welcome to Terrific Talk.
Thank you, Tom. Don't make me sound that old. Please don't call me like Mr. Rose when you're like, I used to watch him as a kid. Jeez, holy smokes.
Sorry, Mr. Rose.
Yeah, you're actually catching me today at my retirement home. It's awesome. It's really a fun day. They let us walk around the yard a little bit.
Hey, there you go. You had a good run.
Nice, thanks.
So let's go back to the beginning, though. Long time ago, I guess. How did we get here? Why did you choose sportscasting as a career?
Always loved sports. I mean, it was on in our house ever since I could remember. And this is way before the day of 24/7 sports at your fingertips. I mean, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, not even every local baseball game was on. I grew up in suburban Cleveland, so the Indians were on a couple times a week. The Browns, we had to deal with blackouts because the stadium that they had, Cleveland Municipal, was 80,000 seats. You'd always worry that maybe they wouldn't sell out by the Thursday deadline, or else it'd get blacked out and you'd have to listen to it on radio. But, with our family, it was just in our DNA. My dad's dad had a lot to do with amateur sports in Cleveland. My mom was a huge sports fan. And it's just something, I knew I always wanted to go into the sports business, but eventually I kind of found my way to TV through some internships in college.
Talking to a lot of broadcasters, I've noticed most of them kind of lose their fandom somewhere along the way. But you're still a big-time Cleveland sports fan. How have you been able to kind of still keep the passion alive for your teams?
Because it's what drew me to it. And I don't get that. Like, people are like, well, I kind of root for friends now that are in the industry and not so much the teams. Like, I feel sad for them.
Yeah.
And I can't get the people who are like, well, you show Cleveland bias. Well, not really. If you listen to the show, instead of just saying, oh, well, he's from Cleveland, and when he's on Intentional Talk, all he does is root for the Indians. Well, yeah, I root for the Indians. Of course I do. And it's kind of a little shtick around Major League Baseball. Like, a few years ago, we had Eric Hosmer on the show when he was with the Royals, and, there's like an Indians lamp and Indians pictures in my office and all sorts of stuff. And he goes, hey, Rose, it wouldn't hurt you to mix in another AL Central team in there. But they get it. Like, they understand it. They don't ever get upset about it.
Yeah.
And I've lived in California for 20 years now, but both my boys are Cleveland diehard sports fans. And it's just, what resonates with our family and brings us together, and I'm passionate about it, and I don't think I should ever have to apologize for that because I think it's just something that's super fun.
I'm with you 100%. You mentioned the kids. How has it been getting to share your passion for sports with them, and any regrets raising them as Browns fans?
I did think that social services was going to knock on the door at some point.
Nice.
And take them away. I really did. But it's funny because, I'm down at NFL Network on Sundays watching the games with our producers and editors and everything. And, one time a month I'll bring the kids down and they'll watch the games with me. But for the most part, we're just texting during it. And my oldest son, Josh, who's now 18, he's hilarious. He'll text. He's like in 2017, he was like, Dad, I want to get a Deshaun Kaiser jersey. And I said, well, hold on, slow down for just a second. Like, we might have to get Velcro on the back of this bad boy. Yeah. No, really. I believe he's our franchise guy. I'm like,
amazing.
Okay. All right, I'll cave. So I got him the jersey. sometimes Kaiser would play okay. He'd text me like, "Dad, see, I told you." And then Kaiser would have one of his 28 turnovers from his rookie season. He'd be like, "Dad, this guy sucks. He's terrible." I was like, "Dude, I'm going to make you wear the rest of your jersey until you have, like, grandkids."
100%.
So, actually, finally, I was like, we watched Baker play this year. For the holidays, I each got him a number 6 jersey, and I felt pretty good about it for the first time in 2 decades.
Yeah, it's a little safer than Kaiser, I think.
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Can you take us through a day in the life of Chris Rose?
Most days, I'll give you a regular season day. Like, I've got 2 boys that are 18 and 13. And, so I got to I'm up at 6 a.m. every day, getting the first one ready for school and get him to his bus. And then for Intentional Talk, which airs from 5 to 6 Eastern, we have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So that's just kind of go over the daily grind of what we want in the show, what guests we're going to have on, how we want to prioritize and editorialize the show. And, I'm just doing a lot of reading throughout the day and just always paying attention to what's going on. And if it's not with baseball, I'm filling in the gaps with my next NFL event. I just came back from the Combine yesterday, and so I was really doing a crash course the last month about trying to familiarize myself with the 337 kids that were there, and to use it not only over the 3 days that I was working the Combine, but the 3 days I'll be doing the draft as well at the end of April. So it's even though I've got a great work gig where 90% of the time I'm doing my MLB show out of a studio that they built in my home, I'm always kind of working and doing something, with the exception of, maybe taking an hour out at the gym or, maybe something with my wife during the day. She tries to kind of stay away from me as much as possible. Not my choice, her choice.
Nice.
Because she's like, "Dude, listen, we've been married 21 years. You're always around the house. Like, don't they need to send you somewhere?"
Right.
I'm like, "But I love being near you, baby." She's like, "Shut up. Enough."
Yeah, the home studio is an interesting thing. How big of a game changer is having that?
Huge. And I so am appreciative of what MLB Network did for us. This was, I've known Kevin for years. Since 2003, he started coming on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, as a fairly frequent guest.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I are 9 months apart in age. His mom lives 10 minutes from me. So in the off season, we'd always hang out and see each other, and our families would get together and that sort of stuff. And I said, "Listen, when some baseball team is smart enough to figure out that you can't play anymore, you come play with me and we'll go do something in the media business." He's like, "Great." So he got released at the end of spring training 2010. I was still working at Fox Sports Net and Fox Sports. But we both kind of picked up a side gig over at MLB Network. We were hired by Tony Petitti and John Entz, and we both did MLB Tonights throughout the year. And at the end of the year, they were like, "Listen, we want to start a show with you two." And we said, "Great. We're not moving up to New Jersey." And they took a huge leap of faith by putting cameras in each of our homes. Kevin lives in Austin, has got 4 kids. I live in LA, I've got 2. And, the first month was rickety. I'm not going to lie to you. It was tough, technically, and how to deal with hosting a show with a guy who's not sitting next to you could be a little turbulent. And then you throw in the X factor of the control room being all the way across the country in Secaucus, New Jersey. It just wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But we figured out a tempo and a rhythm, and what it mostly has allowed me to be is the dad and the husband I want to be. I wanted to coach my kids' teams. I wanted to be able to do that stuff around here and be there for them when they had tough times and good times and go see sporting events and performances. And, you only get to do that once, and I can't tell you how many of my good friends have had to miss a substantial amount of their children's childhood because they're off doing great things. And I applaud them for being able to do it, but, it works better for me. I would never judge anybody else, but it works for the kind of lifestyle I want to live.
Sounds like the best of both worlds, really.
It's great. And I'll be the first one to tell you how lucky I am that I get to, I get to play in the sandbox at 2 league-owned sports networks in MLB and NFL, and then do a cool gig like Battle Boss on the side. It's
right.
I'm pretty fortunate.
All right, let's take a quick break. Baseball season's right around the corner. I'm looking to go to some Mets games, trying to save up a little money there. I'm kind of looking for places where I can save some money. With Mint Mobile, you can cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. They've reimagined wireless, making it easy and online only, which means they can pass significant savings directly to you. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. You can keep your old number along with all your existing contacts. With Mint Mobile, choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes of 4G LTE data and stop paying for unlimited data that you'll never use. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. So why not ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile? To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/terrific. That's mintmobile.com/terrific. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month and get free shipping on your Mint Mobile plan at mintmobile.com/terrific. All right, let's get back to Chris Rose.
Talking about Millar, and you guys spent all that time together before the show even happened. That was like the first thing I ever noticed when watching you two guys, is just how great your chemistry was. When you're doing a show like that with somebody, just how important is the chemistry?
It's everything. If people are going to give you an hour of their important day, you better show them what you are for real. And listen, I understand kind of where we are as a medium, where you have to have a viewpoint, and sometimes you have to yell and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer in that you got to be able to comfortably put your head on the pillow. And what I mean by that is I like to believe everything that comes out of my mouth. I don't like the clickbait stuff. I understand why it exists. I understand that there's people that get paid an awful lot of money to do that. But for me, the best thing I can hear about our show is that when people say, gosh, it sure looks like you guys have fun. And we do. We have a great time. Now, we're different guys. We're really different, but we hang out a ton. When we go on the road together, we're out to dinner. Our wives are friends. He's stayed at my place. I've stayed at his. It's not BS. Like, what you see is what you get. And when we're in the middle of a sports discussion, like, we could go off on a totally different tangent.
Yeah.
He could rip on me about something, or I could do the same, and we're never at a fear of having that moment where you're like, yeah, that probably wasn't right for me to say that about him. Like, I think this is the 9th year we've had the show. I think one day we got pissed. Like, I got pissed at him for something, and that was it.
Pretty amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, especially in this business. Do you have a favorite on-air moment that you've shared with him?
Oh, Kevin's mastery of the English language, I think, is second to none.
Fair.
And when we were at the World Series in 2013, I think it was an off day in St. Louis, and we had Joe Kelly, now of the Dodgers, on the show. And Kevin asked him about the St. Louis Arc and just rolled right through it. And Joe was like, excuse me, wait a second. What did you say? Did you just say the St. Louis Arc? Because that doesn't make any sense. And so we just constantly play that over and over. But I actually don't think he went to English class.
There you go.
Let's just be very honest.
Missed it. I mentioned to some friends that you were coming on, and they were all talking. They always loved you on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. To you, what made that show just so successful?
That we were willing to take chances, and our bosses always said, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we'll let you know next time.
Yeah.
I do believe that it kind of set the tone. There's a ton of shows out there where, Shannon Sharp, whether you love him or you don't love him, and I happen to think he's actually pretty good, has a voice. You don't have to just be a media guy in order. Look, I don't think that LeBron's stuff exists, to be honest with you, without Best Damn. because for so long, you could only have an opinion about your sport. And I get it. John Sally was not a master of baseball or the NFL. But you know what he was great at? Making people feel comfortable when they sat on the couch next to him. And, it was just super fun. Like I said, we took chances. We were a little crazy and irreverent. And not everything was funny that we did. And it wasn't for everyone. But I think what it allowed mostly was people to enjoy sports again. Because I really felt like at the beginning of, like right around 2000, 2001, it was just getting too serious.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we're still covering sports. Like, there's funny stuff that happens. There's fun stuff. There's great personalities beyond just the game. And I thought that we probably did that better than most shows of kind of breaking down that wall between athlete and fan.
Do you think things are getting a little too serious again, or are we in a good place?
Well, I think the world's pretty serious, and so that's going to bleed on over into sports, and that's okay. I think that some of the stuff we've had to deal with is you got to put your big boy and big girl pants on and deal with it. And I have no problem when athletes want to use their voice to be heard. I mean, I'm not a fan of the shut up and dribble. I don't believe in that. And I think that if you want to try and change the world, you only have one shot at it. Go for it.
You've got the platform. Chris, before I let you go, Bryce Harper's jersey just breaking a 24-hour sales record. You've been calling Harper to the Phillies for a while. How do you think he's going to fit in there in Philly?
I think he'll do really well. I think that his mentality can handle it. I mean, he's lived for these moments ever since he was a teenager. It was almost planned out.
Yeah.
I never saw him going to a place like San Diego. I think they're certainly on the right track. But I think he wants to be a little bit in the meat grinder, where they really hold you accountable. And I think that part will work out well. Now, my question is, what determines a successful run for him? Is it strictly getting to the World Series? Is it winning a World Series? Is it only winning one? What is it?
We'll find out. 13 years.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what it brings. And in that division now, over the next few years, there is a ton of intrigue. There's no question.
Yeah, I'm a Mets fan, so we'll keep our fingers crossed here.
Well, they're going to be better. They're going to be substantially better. It's there's 4 teams that have a shot at it, and it might come down to which GM pulls the trigger in July.
Yeah. I hope so. I think it's going to be fun. I mean, my friend and I, he's a big Phillies guy, and we kind of grew up together with the Mets-Phillies rivalry there, and we're ready for it to come back.
Yeah, I mean, we want it. You don't want to have it where you guys blow a lead with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, we almost didn't stay friends after that.
Yeah, well, it's probably worth breaking up a friendship over.
Chris, this was great. Everybody go check Chris out on Twitter. His handle is @ChrisRose. Watch him on the MLB Network, NFL Network. Chris, thanks again. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.